If your peach tree is covered in beautiful blossoms every spring but only gives you a handful of fruit by summer, the tree isn't broken, you are doing one specific thing wrong, and it's costing you most of your harvest every single year. I'm going to show you exactly what that is, and more importantly, exactly what to do instead. If you want practical, no-nonsense peach growing tips that actually come from real field experience, not just from reading books, hit that subscribe button right now. Every week on this channel, I put out content that helps you grow more fruit, solve real problems, and get the most out of every tree on your property. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the complete process of pushing a peach tree toward maximum fruit production, from what you do in the ground to what you do in the canopy, to the timing windows that most growers completely miss. By the end of this, you'll have a clear, actionable plan that you can start putting into practice on your trees this season. This isn't complicated. It's just a matter of knowing what the tree needs and when it needs it. Let me paint you a picture that I hear about constantly. Someone plants a peach tree, takes care of it, waters it, maybe throws some fertilizer at it in spring, and then stands back and wonders why the fruit load is so disappointing year after year. The blossoms come, they look incredible, and then most of them just drop. Maybe a few dozen fruits set, and half of those fall off before they're anywhere near ripe. By harvest time, they're picking a bucket's worth from a tree that should be giving them 10 times that. And the frustrating thing is, from the outside the tree can look perfectly healthy. Good color in the leaves, decent size, no obvious signs of disease. So what's going wrong? The truth is, most backyard growers, and honestly, some not-so-backyard growers, are making the same cluster of mistakes simultaneously. They're not pruning with fruit production in mind. They're fertilizing at the wrong time or with the wrong balance of nutrients. They're not managing the fruit load itself. And they're missing the single most critical window of the entire growing year, when what you do or don't do determines everything about your harvest. When you combine all of these mistakes, you end up with a tree that puts energy into all the wrong places and never reaches anything close to its potential. I've walked through orchards where trees of the same variety, planted the same year, in the same soil, were producing completely different results, and every single time, the difference came back to management decisions. Not luck, not the variety, management. Here's the biology you need to understand, and I'll keep it simple, because what matters is that you can use this, not recite it. A peach tree has a fixed amount of energy at any given point in the season. That energy comes from photosynthesis, from the leaves converting sunlight into sugars. The tree uses those sugars to grow roots, push new wood, flower, and develop fruit. The problem is that if you let the tree make its own decisions about how to spend that energy, it won't prioritize fruit the way you want it to. It will push excessive vegetative growth, long whippy shoots going in every direction, and it will set far more fruit than it can ever properly develop. Then drop most of them as a self-thinning mechanism when it runs out of resources to support them. The other piece of biology that catches people off guard is how peach trees actually set their fruit buds. Unlike some other species, peaches set their flower buds for next year's crop on this year's new growth. That means the wood that grew this season, those new shoots, is what carries next spring's blossoms. If you don't manage the canopy to encourage the right kind of new growth, you literally reduce next year's crop before the season even starts. Understanding this cycle changes how you think about everything you do to a peach tree. Every cut you make, every feed you give, every decision about the canopy, it's all playing into a cycle that spans multiple seasons, not just the one you're in. There's also the question of what happens at the soil level. Peach roots are relatively shallow compared to some other fruit trees, and they are very sensitive to both nutrient imbalance and soil compaction. A tree growing in compacted, poorly aerated soil will always underperform, even if you're doing everything else right. The roots can't function efficiently, they can't take up water and nutrients effectively, and that limitation shows up directly in your fruit production. This is one of the reasons why a neighboring tree growing in the same conditions but with slightly better drainage or slightly looser soil will consistently outperform. So let's talk about what experienced growers actually do. Not what the general advice says, what people who rely on peach production for their livelihood actually practice in the field. Step 1 is pruning, and the timing and approach here matters enormously. Commercial peach growers prune hard, and they prune at the right time. In most climates, that means pruning in late winter to early spring, just as the buds begin to swell but before they open. This timing is deliberate. It reduces the risk of disease entry through pruning cuts, and it allows the tree to direct all of its early season energy into the new growth you want, rather than into wood you've already decided to remove. The goal of pruning a peach tree is not just to control size, it's to create an open vase shape, a bowl, that allows sunlight to penetrate right into the center of the canopy. Peach fruit needs sun exposure to size up, color up, and develop sugar. A dense, overcrowded canopy means shaded fruit, and shaded fruit is small, pale, and flavorless even when everything else goes right. When you're pruning, you want to remove any branches that are crossing through the center of the tree, any downward growing wood, any dead or diseased material, and any growth that's so long and whippy that it can't support fruit without bending to the ground. Then you head back, shorten the remaining shoots to somewhere between 1/3 and 1/2 of their length. This heading cut is what stimulates the development of new lateral shoots lower on the branch, which is where next year's productive wood will come from. Don't be afraid to prune hard. A peach tree that's pruned too lightly year after year develops a problem called fruiting out, where all the productive wood gradually moves to the outer tips of increasingly long branches, and the center of the tree becomes bare and unproductive. Once you're in that situation, it takes 2 to 3 years of corrective pruning to fix it. Step 2 is soil preparation and organic matter. Before the growing season kicks off, get organic matter into the root zone. Compost, well-aged manure, wood chip mulch, any of these worked into the top layer of the soil or applied as a surface mulch will dramatically improve the soil structure over time, increase microbial activity, improve water retention, and feed the tree in the slow, steady way that roots love. Apply a layer of mulch at least 10 centimeters deep, keeping it a hand's width away from the trunk to prevent collar rot. This single practice, consistent mulching, is something almost every high-producing orchard does as a matter of routine, and almost every struggling backyard tree goes without. Step 3 is fertilization with the right timing. Here is where most people get it wrong, and I mean really wrong. They apply a nitrogen-heavy fertilizer in spring when the tree is flowering and fruiting, and what they get is a flush of vegetative growth that competes directly with fruit development. The correct approach is to apply a balanced fertilizer, something with roughly equal parts nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, early, just before bud break. This feeds the tree through its critical early growth phase. Then, when fruit has set and is beginning to size up, switch to a lower nitrogen, higher potassium feed. Potassium is the nutrient most directly linked to fruit size, sweetness, and skin quality. Think of it as the finishing nutrient, the one that turns a decent peach into a great one. Late-season nitrogen, on the other hand, pushes soft new growth right when the tree should be hardening off and storing reserves for next year. And it makes your fruit soft and prone to splitting and disease. Step 4 is fruit thinning, and this is the step that backyard growers most consistently skip because it feels counterintuitive. You've waited all year for fruit to set, and now I'm telling you to remove most of it. But here's the reality. A peach tree simply cannot develop a heavy set of small fruitlets into full-sized, high-quality peaches. The tree doesn't have enough energy. If you leave every fruitlet on the tree, what you'll end up with is an enormous number of tiny, poorly flavored peaches that may not even fully ripen before they drop. When you thin the crop, removing fruitlets so that the remaining ones are spaced about 15 to 20 centimeters apart along each branch, what you're doing is redirecting all of the tree's energy into fewer fruit. The result is dramatically larger, sweeter, better colored peaches, a healthier tree that isn't exhausted by the season, and often a more consistent crop the following year as well. Thin when the fruitlets are about the size of a large marble. Use your fingers or small scissors and be ruthless about it. Step 5 is water management through the season. Peaches need consistent moisture. especially from the time fruit sets through to about 4 weeks before harvest. Irregular watering, dry periods followed by heavy irrigation, is one of the main causes of fruit cracking and split pits, and it also stresses the tree in ways that reduce the following year's productivity. Deep, infrequent watering is far better than frequent shallow watering. You want to wet the soil to a depth of at least 30 to 40 centimeters each time you water, then let the top layer dry out before watering again. Drip irrigation at the root zone is ideal. Overhead watering in humid conditions is a fast track to fungal disease on both the fruit and the foliage. Let me take you out into the orchard for a moment and show you what all of this looks like in practice, because there's a difference between knowing the steps and being able to recognize what you're actually looking at on the tree. When you stand in front of a well-managed peach tree after pruning, you should be able to look into the center of the canopy and see daylight through to the other side. If you can't, if the interior is a wall of crossing branches and dense growth, the tree needs more work. A properly pruned peach tree looks almost brutally cut back to someone who isn't used to it. First-time pruners usually stop well short of where they should go because it looks too severe. But walk back and look at that same tree 6 weeks into spring, and you'll see a beautiful flush of strong, evenly spaced new growth pushing from every branch you've kept. That new growth is gold. That's where next year's crop lives. When you're checking your fruit set in early summer, look at how the fruitlets are distributed. You'll often see clusters, 3, 4, sometimes 5 fruitlets all jammed together at one point on a shoot. All of those will not become full-sized fruit. The tree will drop most of them naturally, but not all, and the ones it keeps without your help will be crowded and undersized. Go through the tree systematically, remove the smallest fruitlet from every cluster, and space out what remains. The fruitlets that are left will visibly size up within 2 to 3 weeks of thinning. You'll see the difference with your own eyes, and once you do, you'll never skip this step again. When you look at the leaves of a well-fed, properly managed peach tree in midsummer, they should be a deep, rich green, not pale green, not yellowing at the edges, not small and cupped. Pale or yellowing leaves in midsummer almost always indicate either a nutrient deficiency, usually iron or nitrogen, or a root problem related to compaction or waterlogging. If you see this, address it immediately because the tree is telling you it's under stress, and stressed trees do not produce good fruit. I want to stop here and ask you something. Look at your peach tree right now, or picture it in your mind. Is the center open and full of light, or is it a dense tangle of crossing branches? Drop the word open in the comments if your canopy gets good light through, or closed if it's dense and overcrowded. I read every single comment on this channel, and I genuinely want to know where you're at with your trees. Here is a golden tip that most growers never hear, and it's something that took me years of observation to fully understand. The single best thing you can do for next year's fruit production is what you do in the 6 weeks immediately after harvest. Most people, once the fruit is off the tree, mentally check out until next spring. The tree gets ignored. No water, no feed, no attention. But here's what's actually happening inside that tree right after harvest. It's in an intense period of nutrient storage and bud development. The buds that will become next year's flowers are being initiated right now. The carbohydrates and trace minerals the tree stores in its wood and roots in this post-harvest window are what it draws on to fuel spring flowering and early fruit set the following year. If you neglect the tree in this window, let it go dry, let the soil stay depleted, you are directly reducing next spring's crop months before spring even arrives. What I do every year without fail is give the tree a deep watering and a potassium-rich feed within 2 weeks of the last fruit coming off. Then I apply a fresh layer of compost mulch around the root zone and let the tree wind down naturally into dormancy. That's it. It takes less than an hour per tree, and the difference it makes to the following year is something you can measure in fruit. Let me quickly run through the mistakes I see most often, because even growers who know better can slip into these habits. Pruning too late is one of the biggest. Once those buds open and flowers appear, you've missed the best window. Late pruning encourages disease, weakens the tree's early season response, and you end up removing flower buds you spent all year building. Prune before bud break, that's the rule. Leaving the fruit load too heavy is another one that quietly destroys harvests year after year. The tree sets far more fruit than it can develop. If you don't intervene with thinning, you're choosing quantity of small, poor-quality fruit over quality of exceptional fruit. It's not a natural process you should just let happen. It's a management decision you need to make actively. Feeding with high nitrogen fertilizer in summer is something I see constantly, and it directly causes excessive vegetative growth at the expense of fruit quality, and it pushes soft tissue that's highly attractive to pests like aphids and peach twig borer. Match your nutrition to what the tree needs at each stage. Ignoring the soil is perhaps the most underrated mistake of all. Growers spend money on sprays, on fertilizers, on all kinds of products, and then neglect the foundation that determines how efficiently the tree can use any of those inputs. Get the soil right first. Organic matter, drainage, aeration, and everything else works better. And finally, giving up on a tree too early. I've seen people pull out peach trees that were 3 or 4 years old because they weren't producing well, when those trees just needed another season of proper management to hit their stride. Peaches that are well managed from year 3 or 4 onward can be producing trees for 20 years or more. Don't cut your losses before you've actually made the right investment in management. Your peach tree is not the problem, it wants to produce. Given the right environment, the right timing, and the right inputs, a peach tree will reward you with a harvest that will genuinely stop you in your tracks. There is nothing quite like standing next to a tree that you've managed well, in the middle of summer, watching it carry a full load of heavy, golden, perfectly ripe peaches. That is absolutely achievable on any property with any reasonably healthy tree when you apply what I've shared in this video consistently over even just 2 seasons. If this video gave you something useful, a new perspective, a specific step you hadn't thought about, or just the confidence to get out there and prune harder this winter, consider joining this channel by clicking subscribe. I post every week. It's always practical, and it's always built on real experience from real trees. There's a community of growers building here, and I'd love to have you in it. Next week, I'm going into something that a lot of peach growers are completely unprepared for: how to identify and stop the 5 most damaging peach diseases before they take hold, because some of them can wipe out an entire season's crop in less than 2 weeks if you don't know what to look for. That's coming up next, and you will not want to miss it.